Welcome to a new video about the new moon in Leo on around and about the 28th of July of this year, and it's at round and about 5 degrees of Leo. So the sun and the moon will be together at 5 degrees of Leo. So I'm going to explain a tiny little bit, of course, a short video, hopefully not too long, and because this is one of the favorite new moons. We have 12 new moons in a year, and it's always around this time in Leo, but it's one of my favorite new moons because it's such a beautiful energy. Notwithstanding the fact, at the background, there is some frustration going on as well. But it's a bit like a break even, you know, it's very expansive energy, very positive, and optimistic energy versus, there is a bit tension between the old and the new. So let's break this down. First of all, a new moon is about new beginnings. So, and when it is in Leo, Leo is the sign of playfulness, it's the sign of enjoyment, of enjoying yourself, it's the sign of children, of romance, of your projects, you could say. So it's a very creative energy, very romantic, but also very creative, joyful, playful, light energy. So for all of us, there is some sort of a new start with that. But if this in itself is already a very beautiful, joyful, light energy, but this new moon trines Jupiter, and Jupiter is in Aries around and about 8 degrees. So the trine, which means a nice energy between Jupiter, the planet of expansion, the planet of growth, the planet of seeing the bigger picture, the planet of the sky is the limit, it's in a beautiful connection with this new moon. So for all of us, notwithstanding the other things that I'm going to describe in a minute, for all of us at a certain area of our life, there is some new seeds that we have planted or we can plant. I mean, we have free will, we do whatever we want to do with the energy, but there is a possibility of planting a new seed somewhere, and that it is for our own growth and also for our own purpose. It gives purpose in a way. And isn't that what these days we have a lack of, you know? We hear a lot these days that purpose seems to be sometimes very difficult to find. Well, with this new moon, we'll definitely at some particular area of our life find a new purpose, and planting the seeds for that, for the expansion, because this new moon is around at about the 28th of July, but it has a ripple effect for the next upcoming weeks. So new plans, new ideas around, I mean, great stuff, you know, very positive stuff. Now, what is the but? The but is that there is at the same time, there is Mercury, the planet of thinking, communication, you know, the planet that wants to think things through, is also in Leo, which is also about, it could be a big plan, it's a bit of a grandiose position, but not unhealthy, but it thinks quite spiritful, you could say, and or spiritual. And it sees the bigger picture, and it really, really wants to be seen. But that communication, that Mercury, is in tension with Uranus and Saturn. So it bumps into a planet of everything that is wants to liberate us, a sudden planet of sudden changes and of the new and of out of the comfort, versus Saturn. I want to stick to the old. I want to stay same old, and restriction. So there is the seeds that we're gonna plant. I see it a bit like that. The seeds that we are going to plant or can plant, that has to do with the heart chakra for sure. Leo is heart chakra. Leo is doing things from the heart that is quite spirited, you know. That's why the fiery signs are associated with spirit and spirituality as well. And we have an opportunity to do that. But the the thing is that how we think it through and how we communicate our new idea, our new way of having fun, our new romance, our new, for some of you, a new plan or a project. To communicate this, we'll have a little bit of tension there, to say the least. Okay, so but all in all, it's a fantastic energy. Let's start with Aries. This is happening in this new moon in your 5th house. So this is all about your creativity, your children, if you have them, conceiving children, having a new romance, exploring a new project. And remember, it's just the seeds that we plant. And this trines Jupiter in your sign. So the plan that you have to start expands you. It has an effect on having a purpose that you are who you are. And how you profile yourself, Jupiter in the 1st, is now way more, you could say, way more purposeful and way more positive as well, and hopeful. So very, very beautiful for you, because you are a fire sign. So you are really going to benefit from that. Whatever it is that you want to do. Starting your own business is also that considered here. Now, the thing that can clash a little bit is your ideas, your communication around this can clash with some friends. Saturn in the 11th. Some friends could say, what the hell are you doing? You know, they can just ground you a little bit too much. But at the same time, you're breaking free with Uranus in your 2nd house and you're saying, what the hell? You know, there's something unexpected that has to do with your self-worth, that could have to do with money as well. So, but whatever it is, in a square between this Uranus and Saturn, you have to give attention to both of the energies. So you have to give attention to liberating yourself, but also to grounding yourself. Then Taurus, this is a very significant new moon for you, especially if you have planets between like 4 to 8 or 10 degrees of Taurus. This is happening in the core of your horoscope, which is your 4th house. So there is a new start, a new beginning, planning of a new seed when it comes literally to your home. So some of you could be changing homes or trying to sell an old home, buying a new home. But for others, this has to do with your emotional well-being. There is something that when it comes to on an unconscious level as well, because Jupiter is in your 12th house, so you're getting like support from dreams, support from the invisible world, so to speak. But there is an opportunity for you to be more of an enjoyable, to experience more enjoyable emotional stability. So that's the core of your being. What is intention for you is yourself. Is yourself. There is like you're standing yourself in the way because you want to break out, you want to break free. It's definitely like a break out, you know, that song with Mars Uranus in your 1st house. And the communication around that emotional well-being, how you do that, can be a little bit over the top, and it also squares up to your 10th house of work. So actually, all areas, all significant, important areas of your life are under tension here, because it's the tension between the old and the new. It's like, you can't go fully for the new, but you can't go fully for the old. When it comes to your career, when it comes to yourself and your needs, it's all about balancing this out. And it's all about this opportunity for you for ultimately emotional stability. That's it. Geminis, this is happening in your 3rd house. This is nice. This is lovely energy. That could be a new beginning, a new planting of the seed that is around your communication. So when you have your own business, for instance, a new platform, or and it's in Leo, you want to shine, you know, you could start a YouTube channel, you could start a blog, you could start a totally new way of communicating that is expansive, you know. It trines the 11th house Jupiter, so really social media and so on could be really interesting for you, something new that you want to start, or a workshop that you are giving or that you are going to, and that really expands your social circle as well. Very, very enjoyable energy, very much your cup of tea as well. On another level, the third house is also short trips, so you could be doing a short trip with friends because Jupiter is in your 11th house of friends. You could be planning for a new trip, basically. And the third house is also your environment, so siblings, neighbors. There could be a new neighbor, there could be a new way of dealing with a sibling, and a new start, and it's all very, very positive. And the thing that is a bit tricky though with this communication that you want to do is Mars Uranus in the 12th house, so there is unconscious patterns acting behind the scenes and a bit of a rebel energy there. So unexpectedly you could have like this vicious dreams and that they give you information and it's a bit restless, and but at the same time your communication is very, very strongly tempered by Saturn in your 9th house. So you could see it as annoying and as frustrating, but you can also see it in a good way, that whatever it is that you're going to speak from the heart, because it's in Leo, it's also tempered and very grounded. You have to do effort for that, but it's certainly doable. Then Cancerians, this is a lot about your worth. So it's time to step up for yourself here with the sun, and well, it's time you do whatever you want to do, but it's a good energy here because this new moon in Leo is in your 2nd house, and the 2nd house is the house of self-worth. It's the house of what do you need in life to feel secure, to feel good about yourself. And there is an opportunity here to do that, and it's related to Jupiter in the 10th house. Can mean two things. It's related to your social status, or on another level, it's also related to work. So you could have like a new plan when it comes to a project that's related to your finances and that you want to grow. There is a very positive energy here to do that. So a new plan, a new project, a promotion. So if you've been working hard for a promotion, this is very good energy to ask for that. But the things that can hold you down a little bit is actually a partner. So if you are in a relationship, because this opposes Saturn in the 7th house, so you could be, for instance, having an idea like, yeah, I'm going to for a new job, this and that, and I'm going to apply for that job, and your partner says, what the hell? And your partner says, what the hell are you doing? What the hell are you doing? So that could be going on there. You have to consider them, but at the same time, you have Mars and Uranus in your house of friends and associations. So there is newness and getting out of the comfort zone that you want to do, but you have to take that into the balance of a significant other person. If you are single, it can mean that you feel by people one-to-one a little bit isolated there. It could mean that you feel like, and especially when it comes to their word, you know, Saturn there has been for a while in your 8th house. Did I say Saturn in the 7th house? It's Saturn in the 8th house. So that is when you are single, that is actually the value that you get from other people. And there's not much value that you're getting from other people, right? The same actually if you are in a partnership. Not that a partner is bad, but it's just difficult to get value from that partner, to get validation towards your needs. So it's a lot about balancing these things out. But if you do it wisely, if you do like, first of all, stepping up for yourself, and then also considering others and not the other way around, then it's a lot of success for you. Leos, Leo, this is happening in your house. This is your new moon. This is a fantastic new moon to have for a Leo. You can really profile yourself in a totally different new way. And this is trining Jupiter in the ninth. So this is like an enormous opportunity for you to expand your life on all levels, because the first house is really your life path. It's not just you, it's your partners, it's your work, it's everything. So there is something very optimistic happening here. There is like this, you feel very, very inspired, to say the least. And it could have been by you planning a new travel, with Jupiter there in the ninth house. So you're planning to go on a new trip, and you could be really, really excited to do so, because you know that it's going to give you a lot of purpose, a lot of expansion, a lot of good feelings, a lot of you feeling good about you, and a lot of enjoyment as well. On another level, it could be studies. So when you are studying, for instance, starting a new study that really expands your perspective. It's being bold. It's seeing it grand, so to speak. Another level as well, if you are interested in like a platform like YouTube, a platform like where you reach a lot of people from different cultures, this is it. You know, you could really, really start something that has to do with other people from different cultures, and that has to do with you being in the spotlight there. This is also fantastic energy. On another level, your philosophy, your connection with the divine, you feel that you are more aligned. And that is one of the best feelings ever, because when you feel that you're aligned, it's almost like what you do is in alignment with the universe. And then everything goes so smooth and so expansive in this way. So this is hugely, hugely positive. So it really is where is the tricky thing? The tricky thing is that your communication, your thoughts around this new idea for expansion, whatever it is for you, writing a book, publishment is also the ninth house. So writing a book, starting a business, international business, then learning a new language, and going on a faraway trip that really expands it, and all of that. There is some tension with a partner, because Saturn is opposing it. So you could have some tension that your ideas of expansiveness, the partner is not really keen on it. I mean, that happens. So you have to consider that. But also there is a tension between Mars and Uranus in the 10th house, which is all about your work. There is a connection here with wanting to break free when it comes to your work as well. So you have to be really, it's actually all your areas of your life that you want to expand so much, but you have to figure out how you are going to sell this almost to your partner if you are in a relationship, and how you are going to implement this new stuff around work. There could be also new things at the work base happening that all of a sudden frees you up, but is a little bit unsettling at the same time. Virgos, this is a new moon in your 12th house. So for you, this is all behind the scenes. This is all on an unconscious level. There is happening a lot. There is like a new beginning when it comes to like old patterns. There's definitely an old pattern, or a pattern that you're unconscious of, that you are tackling, and that is because it trines Jupiter in the 8th house. It can have to do with fears, it can have to do with trauma, and there is a resolvement here. So this is very positive energy, but no one sees it, only you feel it, and you know it, and you dream about it, and you kind of release it. So this is a good energy for releasing old trauma, for releasing old patterns that no longer suit you. But at the same time, this thing behind the scenes, so whether it is an old pattern, whether it is from the past, even from former lives, if you wish, it does square up to the 9th house, which is your views and opposing your day-to-day routines in life. So you could have some sort of a tension going on between your day-to-day life and the routines that you have to do versus you want to expand, you just want to travel, you just want to do things that you love to do. Or there could be something unexpectedly happening during your traveling, during or unexpected news from abroad that is coming, or more has to do with an unexpected action of someone, and it kind of is unsettling. When that is the fact, ground yourself, do your exercises, do your healthy food and so on, and you will get back into balance again. Librans, this is happening in your 11th house. This is beautiful. That could mean a new friendship, a new plan, a new goal for the future. And it's not just, and I think it has to do a lot with people, because Jupiter is in your 7th house of relationships, trining this. This could be a new connection, or it could mean that a friend becomes a lover, and it's very expansive, very meaningful. And oh yes, if you are single, this is fantastic energy. This is definitely a relationship. It could also mean that a friend is very meaningful for you, for when it comes to how you have fun, how you understand yourself on a level of sharing your ideas with like-minded people. Extremely social energy, and you're gonna love it because you're a Libran. And you want to be around people and understand them, and you want to be liked, and you also want to like. And this is absolutely this very light energy for you, absolutely. Now the square happens between your 8th house and your 5th house, so there is at the same time, although this sounds all very social and very expansive, at the same time you're very cautious of your heart, with Saturn there in your 5th house, squaring up to Uranus in the 8th house. This is about intimacy. So there could be a bit of a struggle between opening yourself up on an intimate level, the 8th house, which is not just sexuality, it's more than that. It's like body, mind and soul. The 5th house is more has to do with just sexuality, playfulness, romance. But the 8th house is deeper. It's your vulnerabilities that you expose to a special person. So there could be a bit of a clash going on there, but whatever it is, you can work through that. So maybe indeed, that it is around a person, and you're protecting yourself a little bit because it's also expansive and it's also overwhelming, because all this is happening whilst Venus, your ruler, just squared up to Jupiter. So there is some expansive, almost over the top of enjoyment that you are feeling. But you'll be fine. Scorpios, this is happening in your 10th house of work. So for those of you who want to have a new job, who want to have a new work, it's definitely that. The 10th house is related to career, and this trines Jupiter in your 6th house, which is also related to career. So for those of you who want to take an opportunity for a new job, go for it. It's going to be super expansive. You can plant your seeds there, and you can have really a job that is more related to who you are at your core, your heart and your passion. It's a very passionate energy for this, and you could be seen for something, the 10th house is also a public house, so you could be seen for something that you're doing for work, and you find it very, very meaningful because of that Jupiter. The thing that can hold you down is yourself, your emotions. Scorpio is all about emotions, and they run very deep, but no one sees them. The Saturn in the 4th house is going to keep the emotions very much under control, no doubt about it, but it squares up to Mars and Uranus in the 7th, so you could be dealing with someone who does something unexpectedly, and that is a bit shaky, and that is a bit unsettling, but on an emotional level, you can keep yourself very cool. You can keep your cool, so don't worry too much about that. But definitely on the relationship level, whether you are single or not, there could be some tension between getting out of the comfort zone, and someone is there showing you that getting out of the comfort zone is very exciting, but at the same time, it can trigger some fears there. But if you know it, you can bring this to balance. Sagittarius, I love this new moon for you. I mean, this is awesome. This is awesome. This is a new moon in your 9th house. Are you planning to go on a trip? Are you planning to study something new? Are you planning to create a new platform or to do something with an existing platform of yours that reaches a lot of people from different cultures? Do you plan to go on a holiday and have some lovely romance there with your Jupiter in the 5th house, meeting someone new, and wow, this is your cup of tea. This is your cup of tea, and it's actually you are really benefiting from this, because this is what we call in astrology a grand trine. So if you've got planets like between 0 to 10 degrees, wow, you feel it the most. Because this is all about spirit. It's all about inspiration. It's all about your energy is trining with Jupiter in your 5th house, and it's trining with the new moon. So yeah, if you have some new ideas, this could be the new start. This could be a new connection from abroad, or something new that pop-ups there. The tension can be that with Mars Uranus in the 6th, your whole life gets upside down. But I think you can deal with that. And I mean your whole life, I mean your day-to-day routines. There's something about your day-to-day life, your day-to-day routines, your health as well. It could be a little bit like, I have to take care of myself because I feel a little bit more, or I feel a little bit less grounded because of this Mars Uranus in the 6th house. So also that squares up to Saturn, so the 3rd house. Make sure that the new plans that you're all having, that you're not really, because of a narrow-minded thinking or a rigid thinking, that you're not going on that big wave of the inspiration. I mean, Sagittarians are people who've got energy there, or planets there, or like an ascendant or a descendant or something that on an important point, they do want to have expansion. So I don't think it's going to be too much of a problem. But although Saturn in the 3rd house, your worst enemy is negative thinking. So be aware of that. Capricorns happening in your 8th house. Now that is a hidden house. That is not the easiest house. But as I said, this new moon, this is trining with your 4th house. So it's the water houses that are activated in a positive way here. So there is like a new beginning when it comes to your psychological understanding, when it comes to your shadow. It's almost as if you feel more secure, that fears and all of that, which is very common for Capricorns, right? They are ruled by Saturn, so a lot of Capricorns deal with a lot of fears. But now it's like that there is a transformation that is really felt on a very, you could say, visceral level almost, because it's in those fiery signs. And it is a new beginning. It's because something that you have conquered, or that you're still conquering, and that has to do with fears, that has to do with crises from the past, traumas from the past. There is a totally new beginning here. And it gives you a tremendous amount of emotional security and of feeling secure. And when you feel secure, you are more ready to go out of your comfort zone. With this Mars and Uranus for you in your 5th house of self-expression, of romance, and of creativity. Yes, it does clash with Saturn in your 2nd house. So this creativity that you want, this relationship that you want, this maybe your child is going through a lot of change, and that has an effect on your 2nd house of money, of self-worth, and there could be a little bit of a clash there. But whatever it is, this expansion can also mean that there is something new, a new beginning when it comes to the worth that you get from other people, the value that you get from other people, money that you share with other people. There is like investments, very good for new investments with this energy. You know, Jupiter in your 4th house, you know, if you're planning, for instance, to buy a home, to take a loan. And of course, considering this, with Saturn in your 2nd house, you can't just give more than you can handle. Give out, I mean, spend more than you can handle. So you will be cautious with Saturn in the 2nd house. But definitely nice energy for you on a very emotionally securing level. Aquarians, super important new moon, especially those of you who have planets between 0 and 10 degrees of Aquarius. This might be a new relationship, or if you are in a relationship, a new phase of the relationship. But whatever it is, even if it has been the hardest of the hardest, even if you just have gone through a divorce, there is some sort of a good communication here with Jupiter trining in your 3rd house. And that is a must, of course. You know, when people go through divorce, especially with children, it is such positive that people can still, because of the way of purpose for caring and nurturing of their children, that they still keep a good communication. Something like that could be going on for you. If you are single, this could definitely be a new love coming in, and it's really very, very, you could say, spiritual. It's also very fiery, very exciting energy, and very purposeful. You will be able to talk with this person extremely well, and but for others this has to do with going on a trip with someone, with a significant person. Jupiter in your 3rd house, expanding. For some of others of you, someone really important for you, that is really important in your life on a romantic level, or on a level of guiding you, like a coach or a therapist, can really prompt you into learning something new. Are you teaching? Are you learning? Jupiter in the 3rd house. What is to be balanced out is you versus your emotions. So Saturn is in the 1st house, so you're very cautious. You don't want to just jump on something that presents itself. But at the same time, there is this Mars-Uranus in the 4th house. You want to free yourself up on an emotional level. You want to change how you react. Your emotional setup here is, you want it to break, so to speak. It could also mean that that there is something happening with a parent that is a bit unsettling, but you are very grounded. You know how to take care of this. You have that mature energy with you, with Saturn in your 1st house. Pisces, this is happening in your 6th house, and Jupiter in your 2nd. So for a lot of Pisces, this is work. This is on the work level of an opportunity, a planning of the new seed that you're doing, and it is related to having a higher income. It's related to having higher self-esteem, self-worth, and very nice plans that you can seed. If it's not that, it could have to do with your health, and also in a combination with the 2nd house, this has to do with food, with what you put in your mouth. That is the 2nd house. So you could be finding a lot of purpose in new foods, in dealing with that to improve and your health. So a lot about new health habits as well, and that will have a knock-on effect on your worth, which is also very, when we work out or where we do some physicality around improving our health, this gives some value, right? So this is really associated with that. The thing that is tricky is Mars-Uranus in your 3rd house squaring up to Saturn in the 12th house. So you're dealing with cleaning up some old patterns for sure. Saturn in the 12th house is a lot to do. Saturn has its joy there, so it's a kind of a cleaning up here. It's a cleaning up of old patterns that are not working, and someone could bring that up that triggers you. That's triggering old patterns of you that you know you should really deal with them and clean them up. So the third house could be a person like a neighbor, a sibling, someone in the neighborhood that you communicate with, and that causes a little bit of tension. But all in all, on a level of work, on a level of your health, this is super, super positive energy. Having said that, I wish you all the best of new moons, the new moon in Leo. Take care. Thank you for listening, and see you in the next video. Bye-bye.